about that.
Yeah. Exactly.
We need another theme song.
You do. I need to help you pick a theme song.
From Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
And here we are, Councilman Kaz Kwiatkowski and my good friend,
DJ.
Should have been here last week. We had a shark here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Got a call from Ed Kissel, too.
Oh.
The Suns are still looking for that shark.
Yeah, okay.
But, hey, just real quick, the rules before we have our first caller. You want to give them?
Be nice.
Be civil.
Be civil.
But you can talk about anything you want.
Yeah.
And try to keep it down to 5 minutes or less.
5 minutes or less.
Okay, we have our first caller. Go ahead there.
Hey, Cass, I was going to ask you, when you guys had your council meeting, it's still on November 1st, and now this is a month ago.
Well, we had a little technical difficulty with the last one.
Oh.
So it's that happens from time to time.
Yeah.
It'll eventually be available on the internet. They're trying to clear up some issues on it. The next one should be on. I'll check with our engineer Mike here.
Every time I put it on, we're still at November 1st.
Yeah, our new one should be on shortly. It's we just had the meeting about a week ago. I'll check with Mike, see what the problem is.
Yeah. Hey, is your friend still going to buy a dog?
Who?
Is your friend? You said that someone was going to buy a dog off for the city?
Oh, you mean that group?
Yeah.
They haven't made an offer yet, no.
Yeah. I wonder if they buy it, will they still have to tear it down, or are they going to try to remodel it?
Well, the group that supposedly wants to save it would have to come up with the funds to run it, and their plans are to make it a walkway.
Yeah.
But, the clock is ticking, and
yeah.
How do we get an estimate on what it would cost to keep it up and run it? What kind of price tag are we looking at?
well, they'd have to probably hire somebody to, whatever they have in mind.
Yeah.
Because right now the plan is that there is no plan
Yeah.
to keep it,
Right.
But, it'd be probably less maintenance than if you had car traffic on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else there?
No, not really. You have a good day.
You too, and
You too.
stick around when you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Yep, we'll see you after the holiday.
Merry Christmas.
You too. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Are we on?
I'd love that. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Are
Yeah.
we?
I'm going to get in trouble.
Oh, why? You're not allowed to say Merry Christmas?
I'm not politically correct.
I don't care. I just don't care. No, I think we'll be on. We'll be on the 18th.
What's that?
We'll still be here for the 18th, and then the following Monday is Christmas. So
Yeah, that might be an issue.
So
I have to check. Not working here anymore. I don't know what day they're going to have off. When you have an office here, it's different.
I'm going to know what that's like really soon. I'll go back into CAD and I'll be like, oh, I don't have a desk anymore. What do I do?
It is going to be strange for you.
It is.
When I sort of retired, it was kind of weird.
They won't let me retire.
I mean, council's not like, where you come down and have an office, but.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Howdy.
Boy, did I hear a lot about you.
Good or bad?
It depends. I ran into an old lady friend of yours.
Ooh.
I try to remember her name now, and she said, boy, I tell you, said, don't tell John this because his head will get inflated. She actually said you were a pretty nice looking guy back then.
Yeah, was she skinny?
She's, yeah, I would say so.
About 95, 100 pounds?
I don't know, a little more than that, I think, but maybe, not much.
Was she part Polish?
Why, I think so. Why? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I figured that out right away.
Wow.
I ran into her and she goes, she's talking about, when are we, and she's married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, her husband goes, when are we going to get John on TV? And I said, he does not have the, I'm not going to say in Italian, but.
Yes, I do. I have the...
You got to come on here, John. They're yelling, honest to God. You know, I won't have DJ forever.
I'm gone.
That's right. He's going to go up to my old stomping ground with my cousin down in Colorado.
Yeah.
Say hello to Dominic down there.
I will.
I expect him to be in a silver mine or something.
Yeah, he lives in Arvada. He was a GM executive.
Wow.
Retired now. But I want to put a shout out thanks to the streets department. I called them last week when it was, last week when it was an ice skating ring.
Yeah.
Came up and took care of it, and they plowed this morning. So
Yeah, I thought they were out this morning.
They're doing a great job. While the temperature's up.
Yeah, they look like they salted quite a bit.
True.
I called them that one day because we were trying to get into budget sessions.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure they were out there salting because, I mean, I had one guy on 28th and Parade. He turned sideways. And 38th Street it took me to get from the Jade Garden, because we were up there that night. It took me about 45 minutes to get down his...
Well, do you have a good load of salt? Because I know they had to flood the salt mines up in Ohio.
We did ask them at the budget sessions, and they said they have more than enough.
Well, you know, they had a fire up there, and they had to flood the mines out.
Really?
Wow.
Is that under the lake?
Yeah, but Morton has that big mine up there.
They actually flood underneath the...
Yeah, they had to put the fire out.
Wow. And then they have to drain it, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen the salt mines. They go actually under the lake, though.
Yeah, they sure do. You know,
heard that?
did you vote for that resolution about the Historic Society stuff?
Oh, you talking about the demolition delay ordinance?
No.
You like it or you don't?
I don't like it.
Why?
Well, because...
Well, you wrote me, and I was going to...
I got a potential property that's going to bring me income. I don't like that deal because unless they're going to pay me what the property's worth and how much I have anticipated to bring in with that business, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to demolish it.
Well, you wrote me, and I was going to ask you about that, but I figured you'd call me anyway. It doesn't cover every property, okay? The way it's earmarked is that if you're in a historically relevant district, all they're saying is that before unless it's a problem, John.
Now, you give the...
Unless it's a problem and it's got, structural deficiencies.
You give Dickinson Tavern for black for $1, and what did he do? Is it being utilized for the people? No. And right up the street, the old other tavern.
Well, you can make a case with what the Bar Association did.
Yeah.
They were going to ball a building, okay, and it was structurally unsound because I talked to a couple of lawyers, and somebody picked it up and decided they wanted to try to renovate it. And I think, after traveling around various cities in the country, and even though you can't go in each one of them, just to be able to drive down Millionaire's Row and and look at some of these houses, and some are open and some aren't, I think it just behooves us not to... John, when you think of all the buildings that were tore down our time, recently, the Columbia, the Colonial, the Shays, the Lawrence Hotel...
Warner, too, because it's not bringing any income. That should be full every day.
What's that?
The Warner Theater.
Well, that's a...
I know, that belongs to the...
Yeah, I mean, it should be filled, but you know what? Erie is not New York City, okay? And, I do think they try their best, but you're dealing with a building it's going to get worse, John, because with ADA rules, they've cut the seating down in that place.
Sure.
I think it was 3,200, and I may be quoting out of my head. It's probably down to about 2,800 now. So that presents a problem with big name stage shows.
Yeah.
Because, all of a sudden they have their minimums and, ticket prices become an issue. But I think they try their best, and then look what happened recently. The state pulled their funding.
I sent you some pictures of the old theaters and all that, the Shays and the Strand and all that. I don't know if you got them.
I would love to get a picture of the inside, the 18th Street one, though.
I don't... Which one?
Yeah, what we call the 18th Street Theater.
Well, there was two of
Well, there's 3 actually.
Well, yeah, there was one down next to my cousin's house or my aunt's house.
The one on the south side that's still there. They called it it went from the Roosevelt to the 18th Street Theater.
Yeah.
That's the one I'd like to see the inside. I actually was in there once. Well, a couple times.
Yeah. You know, I talked to the new coming mayor about the bridge.
Yeah.
Gave him my opinion that it should be torn down and the money should be used for the inner city. So let's do something with that.
Well, I think,
I mean, the liability is going to be too much, and it's structurally shot.
I've been going around town, and it's not, there's a lot of people that, quite frankly, said, it served its time, and they don't want us to, the government looking for money to grab, we could lose this money.
That's true.
But I'm going to make the decision that's best for the whole entire taxpayers.
And that's what I think this mayor is going to do. He's thinking about the whole city, and I don't like him, but I'm going to give him a chance. So what more can I say? Yep. Other than that, I'll talk to you later about our wonderful Browns.
Yeah, give me a call, though.
All righty.
Our Giants and our Browns both bad, huh?
Yeah, uh-huh. You see, Eli got taken out of the picture.
Wow.
Hey, 235 straight games, and they benched him.
Doesn't seem right, does it?
They fired the manager and the coach. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, stick on. Maybe it'll be a little dead later.
All righty.
Thanks. Take care.
Yep.
7 minutes. 7.5 minutes.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. No, I'll start making a fuss around 10.
You are. Okay, make a. Oh, wow, that's pretty good.
I'll be like, hang up the phone.
Yeah, we, when we're talking about that demolition delay,
yeah,
that's really designed for. Not every house is going to be affected.
Right.
But we're not saying you can't sell. We're just saying, hey, let's have a cooling down period.
Yeah.
If you want to sell it, that's one thing, But if you're going to tear it down, I think we've seen too many buildings in the city over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, people marvel when you go to like Bethlehem or Lancaster.
Right.
And they go, oh, they had some nice houses, Revolutionary War cap.
Yeah.
They do. They got buildings that were from the Revolution.
Yeah.
They got taverns in there today or restaurants.
Right.
And they've been modernized, but
yeah.
We tore down an awful lot in this community.
Yeah.
And mainly back late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Mid 70s.
Yeah.
When we thought we had a plan.
Yeah. Well, that seems to be a thing about Erie. You get out and about and you either see the decay of buildings or the buildings have been taken down. We have nothing but empty lots.
Well, I think, the problem was that you weren't around then.
Yeah.
Were you born here? No.
Oh, no.
Well, back when they had the money, the federal government had all this redevelopment money.
Right.
And they formed a redevelopment authority, and there was plans. There really was. There were.
Yeah.
Just like there are now with the Buki plan. This was, downtown was going to be renovated.
Yeah.
And at the time, the city was still relevant. It was probably in the 120,000 range.
Yeah.
Population. But we were declining, okay? This was supposed to be the spark in the downtown.
Yeah.
To bring back we still had a few businesses left.
Yeah.
Department stores. And then what they did, they went in there and they had the money to demolish, and the plans were there. But
right.
Like a lot of plans, I mean, the fruit of some of them are still around.
Yeah.
If you look across from the cathedral, you see that big building Gannon owns?
Yeah.
That was GTE's state headquarters.
Right.
That was a big deal. We got GTE's state headquarters.
Yeah.
And you look at some of the other buildings, and I could show them to you. They were all built under that plan.
Yeah.
Then there were plans to put 2 to 4 high rises in the middle of downtown.
Right.
Between the Bowling Building, which is now the Renaissance Center.
Yeah.
And the Commerce Building, which is now gone.
Yeah.
And there were other buildings. So everything was a plan, Some of it happened, some of it didn't.
How come is it true that we can't have super tall buildings here because of the...
I don't believe so. I heard that once.
Yeah.
But I think if they really wanted to, they could. It might be cost.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, the way it is now, you couldn't cheaply put in a big building.
I don't know if it'd be, well, there's always a cost benefit effect.
And that's due to, it's just not solid. It's like sand or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the sand goes up as far as 26th Street.
Oh, wow.
I remember when they were building parking ramps up there, I used to bring back the samples. You know.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Whoop.
And
But I think, I think it'd be, I think they could, I mean, they got the Renaissance building.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they could do it if they had to.
Yeah.
But I'd have to have an engineer tell me they couldn't.
Right.
But, I mean, they build buildings all over the world,
Yeah.
They just, how much you have to put underneath there.
Yeah.
But I think, what happened was we went into Vietnam and the money went from social to war.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, caller.
I see you got a lull. I'll come on for another quick 5 minutes.
There you go.
On this fire budget, I see where the chief come up with the idea of leasing.
Yeah, that was just, well, it came up during our conversation that we asked them, because we had heard rumors they need a truck.
Well, I heard they need about 3 of them.
Well, they had a list of them that, possibility. The trouble is they bought all these trucks at one time, and I remember they bought one when I came on as controller.
Too big to go around in the city. Couldn't even park in the garage.
What's that?
The one they bought, that big bucket truck.
Yeah, where'd they put it, though?
I think that's down on Sassafras, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
They had to build a new fire hall for twice the money that they...
Oh, no, that wasn't... Yeah, but that was way before me. But the truck they bought when I was on, they had no trouble putting it in the existing buildings. You're talking about years ago when Mario built that firehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But, they need it, and the police need vehicles. We know that. We got a couple garbage trucks that are nearing the end of their, their life.
Yeah.
And so, he brought up a point that the fire chiefs have been meeting regularly around the Commonwealth. They never did, but they get together at the League of Cities and they meet quarterly. And so he said one of the things they came up with was some communities were leasing them.
Is that a 5-year lease?
I don't know. We never got that far, but...
No, Penelec used to lease all their vehicles, but they owned the leasing company, too.
But we told them, we said, look, when the time comes, get some numbers, and let's look at how we do things now compared to how compare with a lease. Because if you can do it and it's better, why wouldn't we do it, John,
Yeah, that makes sense. Penelec used to lease all their cars.
Yeah, and so, he came up with the idea, and, there's some pros and cons, and
we did good. We sold the cars to the employees and everything else, and the mechanics bought a few, and...
Yeah, I don't know what you do with a fire truck, but, we've...
Well,
I would buy a fire truck.
We have gotten rid of a couple of them,
Have to look at the whole thing, the maintenance of it, how much that's going to affect, and how long you want to keep a fire truck. You want to keep it 5-10 years before it's gone. The service and the hours on the meters and everything else, plus the wear and tear.
Yeah, police cars, they get mileage, but the
they get slammed.
But the fire trucks, they get a lot of heavy usage,
Well, fire trucks get better care too.
Yeah, they do, but they get, they after a while they become. Not only that, then they, I can remember they keep changing the rules.
That's true.
And you have to, they have to be up. They quickly become out of date.
Dude, how cool would that be to just have a fire truck?
I was going to be a mechanic, but I couldn't take the pay cut.
The DJ wants to buy one.
I will just put that on my front lawn.
Well, I think Brandell bought one. And
you can, you look at the auctions around.
We sell them.
Sell them.
I'm going to check it out.
Brandell bought one, and some of them buy them for what, like parades and stuff, John? Or
well, looks like we'll give somebody else a chance because I can see the light flashing on DJ's head.
Yeah, you're okay.
No,
but
you got a couple.
But seriously, we thought about this council is looking at all kinds of ideas about.
Well, there's all kinds of methods,
Yeah, we long term we got to look at. We're going to have to be buying vehicles on a regular basis, and this came up too about. It's time some of the nonprofits, help this out a little bit in those areas consistently.
All right, look at the tax write-off LECOM wants to get for their senior citizen building up there.
Yeah.
2% they want to write off the taxes, and they're valued at over $19 million, that place up there.
I heard somebody wrote in on one of these websites, and it came up at the meeting about, like, Mercier's doesn't give a dime usually, consistently.
True.
And yet, how many burnt popcorn calls do we get up there?
Yeah.
And our truck's got to roll, and
It's the same thing with Dan. They donate a couple of police cars.
they do, but we haven't had anything from Mercier's in quite a while.
Well, if I had $40-50 million in the city, I'd gladly give a couple of police cars.
I'd like to. I have a plan, and I'm not the mayor, but I've said this plan publicly. I don't care if anybody wants to take credit for it, but we need to sit down with them and have a
pay for services.
A regular pay for services or an agreement.
Water, lights.
That
Police.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, I talked to our police officers, our firemen, and they do a nice job, but it's getting tough, John. Who are we going to tax in the future?
Yeah.
Well,
I had people come up to me going, if they get rid of real estate tax, how are they going to finance public schools? And I said, well, you got to look at income tax or sales tax.
Well, you have to look at the sales tax.
Or income tax,
Sales tax. Well, look at the school district. They just got $14 million.
Yeah, and watch what happens around the state when the rest of them want theirs now.
Right. I mean, I'm 75 years old, and I'm still paying school tax. I've had a kid in school for 40 years.
Well, they got to come up with a fair and equitable method.
That's true. Okay, DJ, I see you flashing that.
I just got to let him know I'm not trying to be mean.
Okay, we'll let somebody else get in here. It's all right.
He wants to be relevant, he said.
I'm relevant for once.
Okay.
See you, John.
See ya.
Yeah, I did run into some lady. He said, when's he coming on?
Who, John?
Yeah, he must have been a heartthrob back then.
I guess.
I saw a couple of pictures of his football career, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was leather helmet.
I was going to say, was he wearing the old leather helmet and
no, it wasn't that
weird
bad.
shoulder
No,
pads?
it wasn't that bad. We did have plastic even back in our days.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Hey, we're live. We're on right now if anybody wants to call.
But yeah, getting back to that, just about saving architecture.
Oh, I know. I'd love to see a lot of the stuff saved and
I think of
fixed
all
up.
the theaters we tore down that could have been repurposed.
Yeah.
Or...
You said you had a Strand. I mean, you had a lot of cool stuff. They just tore the one down in, what was it, West Erie Plaza? That was beautiful.
But that was nothing compared to the ones we tore down.
Yeah.
I mean, and then when you look at City Hall where the parking lot is.
Yeah.
And you look at next time you're down the hall, take a look at what the old one looked like. It wasn't big enough for the new city.
Yeah.
But we could have, if we had the money.
Yeah.
And we could have repurposed it.
Yeah.
That would have made nice offices for council, the mayor. It would have been in an old building, but the wood in there and all that architecture.
Yeah, the one you were talking about, was that the one you were talking about last week with the lady at the desk where it was all secret rooms and different stuff where you went in because they had been closed up for years?
Yeah.
Federal, was it a courthouse? Was it?
No, it was ours. We had.
Where was that? At a school?
Oh, at Tech we had secret courtyards.
Okay, so it was Tech, and you said you went in and found a whole bunch
Academy.
Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Academy had all the...
I would love to be able to go in and see places like that. You just haven't been in there for years, and you open up a door, and you're
Had I been on the school board, I would have taken you in, like in the office.
Man.
In the office.
It's cool.
Like in the summer.
Yeah.
There were things in there, passages. And
yeah, you still got to show me all the secret stuff here.
Before you go?
Yeah, the 13th floor.
Every building has secret stuff.
Yeah. You got to take me out on the firing range. That sounds like fun.
Well, that you got to get cleared though.
Yeah, I'm not good with those things.
We'll get you in the Army. You can do any of that.
I tried firing a gun once, and I just blew myself off my feet. I was shot against the ground. Yeah.
The only thing that scared me was not scared me. Firing a musket was interesting.
Musket.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That's the one where you put stuff in.
Oh yeah. What's weird about it is when you fire a regular weapon, you go, bam.
Yeah.
You fire a musket and you're. and there's a little delay. So you flinch a little bit. You know?
Yeah, you're like, oh, I forgot about that.
I think I got a misfire, you know. Go ahead, caller.
I'm back.
Hey!
Hey, DJ, if you want to go to see a good one, go down to Jones School.
Which Jones School?
Ooh.
The Cena Law offices now, and they bought it and they refurbished it all. It has all the great stuff in it. You had the slate school backboards and everything.
Are they selling that building, I think?
No, Messina's?
I thought I saw a for sale sign on it.
I didn't see that.
Where's this at? Messina?
7th and Holland,
Yeah.
French.
Not far from here.
Between Holland and French, on the south corner.
Yeah, south side of the, yeah.
It used to be down from the old Erie Boys Club, the Moose Club.
I was in there when they dedicated it, after they bought it.
Cena Brothers.
It was
Joe.
you know, it's an even better school. That's scary. Lafayette, John.
Yeah, well, that was 17.
Oh, wait, not Lafayette.
Lafayette was public school number 1.
Yeah, not that one. Washington.
Yeah.
You know where Washington is?
No, I don't remember.
Cohen Auto Parts, top of the hill.
Oh, that's right. that you go down the stairs and all that. I was in there many times.
We were up in the attic where they had the gyms.
Yeah.
They had gyms up in the attic.
True.
And, you know, they had these huge staircases. The wood is still... somebody went in there and cleaned up that wood, you know.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, the stairwells in those old school buildings were... I mean, the ones you look at today are, you know, metal and cheap wood.
And you can take 3 or 4 people down at one time in the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, not only that, the thickness of the wood up there.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, right down the street you had a great building, too. The old City Hall.
Yeah, we were talking about that here.
Yeah.
And there you walked in, it was like I want to say like a spindle in the middle where the clerk sat.
Really?
Oh, wow.
And, you know, you could approach it from 360 degrees.
That's
It would have been nice if, when we were in Poland, they still had old buildings like that.
Yeah.
Like I told DJ, if they had renovated that building,
Oh,
that could have been offices for the mayor,
Yeah.
you know, it could have been like the executive offices, you know, fixed up a little bit with the wood in there, compared to, you know, this building could have been functional for other stuff, you
I
know.
would love to go into a place like that.
On State Street between 7th and Peach, you had the I Club, you had all those clubs, you had the Eagles, the Elks, by where the courthouse was.
We had a long conversation yesterday about the secret tunnels, the underground bathrooms,
Oh, yeah, well, East High
yeah.
School was all underground.
and the businesses on North Park Road that were down in the basement.
True.
What was East High underground?
Well, they had their tunnels underneath, where the boilers and everything were.
Oh, yeah, I remember going through them.
Yep. And I knew all the guys down there.
Actually-
We used to skip the alleyway and go across over to the bakery.
Actually, what they did was they collapsed the coal tunnels.
Yeah, they imploded them.
Yeah, and then they used that. You'll laugh, John. I can tell the story now. They used that. You know, they went down and photographed the debris that was in the coal bunkers.
Yeah.
They said this was proof that the school needed to be rebuilt.
Oh, that's baloney.
Well, yeah, but you know what? Never let the legend. Hey, John, you know what happened? I mean, you know, he's dead now, but Mr. Braybender, he did whatever it took to get that new school built.
Wow.
And you know what? If you're an East High graduate, you got to thank him, right?
No.
Well, I mean, you know, I know you guys wanted to keep the old
I
school,
got
but
a brick from that place.
Wow.
yeah, I got about 12 of them, and I gave them out to.
Did you?
Yeah, Billy took 2 with him to the grave, though.
Yeah, Lucia shoot him.
Huh?
Lucia shoot him.
No, he took a couple to the grave.
You really?
Wow.
Yeah, Billy was. You had to know Billy. He had a passion for East.
Yeah, and so did Bobby for Vincent.
Yeah, and I mean, I got him a brick because Billy never got the credit he should have for that, you know, new school.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a one-man wrecking crew getting that done.
True.
And he was not up on stage with us.
But Clarabelle was always pretty good, too.
But he should have been up on stage with us, really, John.
You know Clarabelle, don't you?
No, who was that?
Bobby Braybender.
Oh,
He always wore that red jacket at council meetings.
What a pair those two were.
I called him Bobby the Clarabelle.
They were a pair.
I used to get them all mad because I'd call Bobby Billy and Billy Bobby.
Someday when we're together, I'll tell you some stories when I was on the school board with him.
Tell you stories about Billy. We ate nothing but raw meat when we played tech.
But you know what? He was deep down. He did some marvelous things. You know.
Yeah, I used to wrestle with him.
He was a tough guy though, but.
Yeah, I remember when he busted his leg playing for UE 506 baseball.
I remember when the two of them, they were fighting. They were fighting at a playground at Perry School, and we played for Billy, and the other, I think Irving played for Bobby or something. And they were ticked because one of us dropped a ball or something, and they weren't happy. They were always competitive.
True. You know, you said I was wearing leather helmets in my day.
No, we were joking.
I was the first one that had girdle pads.
Oh.
Instead of hip pads.
Hey, John, was the ball pointed or rounded when you played?
It was more or less rounded.
I'm just joking with you because, these kids, they always go, oh, you guys had leather helmets. No, we had plastic,
I had a few leather helmets. But no, the ball in those days had more of a roundness to it than they do today.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Today they're pointed more. Oh, true. I wish I had the one, but I gave it to my son, but it was rounded.
Wow.
And then we had problems with the stickum when we played Freddie B in Tech.
Stickum.
The ball has to be cleaned because he had stickum on his ankles. You think I'm kidding?
No, I know. Well, they outlawed it in the NFL because of that.
Well, but he used to have bottles of it, and he just put it right on his ankles.
Well, tar never hurt anybody.
That's true.
Geez.
So, we're getting close.
Yep.
Yeah, you're over.
20 minutes. So
Nobody's calling.
We'll let Doc come in. He can eat some.
Yeah.
There you go.
Doc, give us a call.
I get a lot of people to listen to the show. I tell them, you got to call. You got to call.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, we're talking about old buildings like that. That was crazy, but.
I mean, the mayor's office and all the city operations being in an old building like that would feel warmer. It would feel nicer. When you walk in this building, I hate to say it, but it's cold, it's industrial, it's clinical.
Well, you would have had to put a lot of money in that old building. It would have been.
But I think the investment would have been worth it.
Remember how they did the cathedral a few years ago? They sandblasted it.
Okay, yeah.
Brought out the color of the brick.
Oh, sure.
The stone. That's what would have had to happen to it, but it looked like a church, the old city hall.
I like a lot of old churches. You could always repurpose a church if one of them closed down and use that for some official building.
And in some towns, you see what they do with old architecture, and it's really amazing. It's we got caught where we tore down a lot of buildings, and when Vietnam started, and the money dried up for. What happened was we did the demolition, but we didn't do the corresponding construction at the same time, and because of that, we were clearing land real fast.
Right.
But then we were stuck with empty lots, and I can show you around town. If you and I took a walk, I could mark them down. All the buildings that had been there that still to this day have never been.
I want to go for a drive with you one of these days before I leave, because there's a number of lots. Like there's a lot over on, it's 10th and Payne. It's a big, it's fenced in. Mm-hmm. It's fenced in empty lot, and it's been like that for 20 years. What was that?
I don't have to go over there with you and take a look.
Yeah, there's like a little shed in there, like a little technical shed for like gas or something, but it's a completely unused lot. I'm pretty sure it was 10th and Payne.
I wasn't real good on the east side when I was younger.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I hate to see waste.
Just so much was torn down over the years that when you think about it, you go, if we'd only saved a couple of the buildings.
Yeah. I know that would be. That's my job. Go back in time.
But everybody wanted the modern look. Oh, man. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it's good to have a mix. But when you go to like a town like Chicago, you still have some of the old, and same thing with New York,
Yeah, I'd like to see a nice mix. I do like to see new. I like to see retro. I like to see some older stuff.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Cass.
Whoop, there
Doc.
I'll give you a different caller come in.
Thank you.
Hey, had a horse and buggy ride around the park.
I didn't know that, but
Well, I don't know. That's what I wasn't down there to see it because I was out of town.
yeah.
I was wondering how that fared because, you've been down to Philadelphia, haven't you?
Yeah, we, in fact, I know what you're going to, I think I know what you're going to say. And DJ and I talked about this about a week or two ago about why we don't do it on a regular basis.
Right.
Yeah.
Do it around the Perry Square, down 6th Street, all the mansion-type buildings down that way. And
What we'd have to do, and it would take some work, we'd have to come up with, like what they do in the other towns, we'd have to clear maybe a bike lane,
correct.
and we have to check whether that infringes on anybody's parking.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I see nothing wrong with it. New Orleans has it.
But you go from say Perry Square, go down to Griswold Plaza, not Griswold. What's the one down there by the school, Liberty Street? There one.
On Liberty Street? Gridley? No.
Oh, by the school there.
That's Gridley, I think, on Liberty.
You do go around that park and then come back.
Yeah, it's Gridley Park.
Yeah, go around that park and come back. And
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I've been on, let's see, personally I've been on the one in New York City. Some of it's on the street, but a lot of it's in the park. I've been in the one in Chicago. New Orleans had one. Philadelphia, I've been in that one. Minneapolis, I think, had one.
yeah, I'm picturing since it's all basically on a level that way, it wouldn't be no real hardship on the horse to draw the carriage.
No, and I think Allentown has one, Doc, or Easton. Somewhere out east, a couple of little cities have them.
I wonder how they fare. That would be a nice attraction for Erie downtown.
Yeah.
I can call Johnny Buckner and ask him if he had any idea how it went. I mean, they've done it in the past on limited basis. But to me, if you wanted to redesign downtown, that'd be one of the things I would like to see would be, at least on certain days, like when we have visitors up here.
Yeah.
Or even on weekends, say.
Yeah, that would. I'm sure they could find somebody that's willing to bring a horse up. I was in where I was in somewhere else where not Duluth.
And looking at that aspect, remember when your dad was a cop? They still had some cops on horses riding around. Do they still do? They don't do that anymore, I don't think.
Not in Erie, they didn't.
I remember one downtown back in the 60s.
You might have been a sheriff's deputy horse.
Oh, that's a possibility, but there was a cop on a horse when they were...
Yeah, Cleveland brings them out for... They'll bring them out like for football games or crowd control.
Uh-huh.
A lot of communities have gotten rid of them, but for a while they had one in a town called Lancaster. We were there for a convention, and they had one horse who it was donated by somebody, and basically the city just had to pay the police officer. The food was donated by different organizations, and he was more of an ambassador, where he just kind of stayed like ours would stay, let's say, in a park area.
Uh-huh.
And it was kind of like when people were asking him, where to go, and he was also, an active police officer.
Yeah.
But he was more of an ambassador than he. But yeah, I think it's a nice idea, but
We need stuff like that.
trouble is you got to have somebody come up with the money, and the place to store it and all that.
Where do you store the horse?
Yeah, well, you'd have to have a barn like.
DJ, that would be a story for someday, maybe if you want to look into
Yeah.
involvement of horses in the early years of Erie. Puffer Bellies down there was a restaurant now doing just Erie Church. They claimed that they had kept the horses there in that Puffer Bellies.
They did.
Yeah, in that
wow.
area. And when they would have the fire bell, the horses got to remember where different fire bell sounds told them to go to.
Yeah.
And when they switched over to using fire trucks, they still had some of the horses there. And really, believe it or not, at least this is what I was told, that a couple of times when the fire would be ringing in, those horses would respond and would arrive at the fire at the same time the fire trucks were.
Wow.
Even though they didn't pull anything there, they knew right
When Tony Pohl was chief, I was up at Engine 8, up there in East Avenue.
Yeah.
And he gave me a tour of that house. And some of the older houses, if you know a fireman, and they're familiar with the history, the stalls are still there. They've been repurposed, but you can still get into the areas in the back.
Uh-huh.
And like Puffer Belly, there was a basement too, and I don't remember if the basement was where they store the hay and stuff. But somebody that's familiar with the old days can tell you the legacy of how they did the horses and where the hay was kept. But it's interesting.
Well, I know the one when I pastored down in Conneautville area. One church I had, there was a fellow that went with a metal detector in the back of the church where they used to have, I was not aware of it, they had like a lean-to type shelter for anyone going to the church would be able to pull the horses in for bad weather. And you actually found a horseshoe back in there.
Wow.
So with a metal detector. So you never know what might be still remaining on the ground or in the ground there.
Oh, in fact, the trolleys were pulled by horses too, and I think the old trolley barn was down near Hammett. But there's a livery stable. When you go to the Children's Museum?
Yep.
That was a livery stable.
Okay, I remember something like that, yeah.
And if you go inside that place and you look up in the ceiling, you'll see like pulleys and reinforced roof.
I'll have to look next time. I go in here not too often, but I do go in here for various functions.
Yeah, you might have difficulty with your,
My vision, yeah, I would.
But I tell people all the time, you go in there and you find out that was an old livery stable.
Hey, Doc, we're coming up on 7 minutes here. You got anything else for us?
I didn't hear you. What is that?
Oh, DJ's a timekeeper now.
I'm keeping time today. We're coming up on 7 minutes, and just wondering if you had anything else.
DJ, before you go anywhere, I want to give you something special, so make you stop by my house sometime.
Is it more apples? Because those apples were really good.
I think you need something big and black and anthracite. You know what that is?
A mineral?
That you could take with you to remember Erie by, Phil.
A big piece of anthracite. What do you think?
Well, I don't know if I can afford that.
All right, Doc. Thanks for calling, man.
I'll talk to you guys later sometime.
Yeah, if you hear nobody else calling in, you could always call back.
Okay, because I want to know what you found out about the downtown deal.
Me or Kaz?
Bye now.
Bye. I can't remember if that was... I might have been... I can't remember if I was looking up something. I'm trying to find places where he can display... He's got Christmas towns.
Christmas what?
Christmas towns, like the villages.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get them set up at the library, but they already had plans.
Oh, they do?
What's this?
Go ahead, caller.
Taxpayers Hotline.
Tell him that place is the Meter Works, American Meter on 10th and Payne.
Ah, that's what it was.
Oh.
Did they blow the building down or what?
Oh.
They tore that down, but paved it. It's been like that for years.
That was... See, I wasn't really that much versed in that part of the town, but I remember the meter plant.
Yeah, I lived a couple blocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, more jobs that were lost.
Yep.
American Meter. How do you find out who owns a plot of land like that now?
It's probably GDIC or somebody else. We can find out. I don't
know if you remember, during the Olympics, they made the torch for that.
Yeah, I do. Wasn't that the one that everybody carried?
Yeah, they made it near here.
Yeah, I remember that. I think Vic Rotunda carried one.
Yep.
There used to be one on display a couple of places.
Wow. That's cool.
Hey, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, thanks
that was
a lot.
I remember American Meter.
American Meter.
Yeah, we had a lot of businesses that were, played a lot of people.
I thought maybe the land was toxic or something, so they fenced it off.
You can check the county site.
Right.
If you can get an address or you'd have to, find on a map.
GPS location, because you go and you punch in a thing on
and
your
they'll
phone.
have a list who owns it.
Yeah.
It could be like one of the agencies has it now, or it could be, somebody private bought it.
It's just a plot of. It could be used for parking. I hate to say it because we got a lot of parking lots, but it's just fenced in.
Years ago, we had so many factories that this was a town where everybody had a job. Yeah, you You had the 12th Street corridor. You had out on the east side.
Did you check out that building I was talking about on 14th and French? It had the big smokestack. It caught on fire a couple of years ago. Did you know if that was an asbestos factory or what that was?
That was, oh God, what was the name of it? Right tip of my tongue.
But you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
14th. It's like 14th and French.
Yeah, I know the exact
Probably
building.
this guy knows where everything is.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, it's not my 3 minutes left, but hey, you're talking about old time Erie. Go find it's a book available at the Maritime Museum called The History of Erie County or City of Erie. They got a lot of old photographs of all those old sites there, Cass.
Is that Welligis or Spencer or a different book?
No, this is written by Jeffrey Nelson.
Oh, okay.
He wrote actually his uncle is the one that owns Waldemar.
Oh, there's a lot of good books out there. There's that little, I have to get the names of them. You see them around town. There's some Old Erie, that's one of them. And my good friend John Alecci, he sends me some on the internet. And another guy that has a lot of pictures is Jerry Skripczak.
Well, this book's about $23. I just got a copy of it. I haven't looked at it yet.
Jerry has a lot of pictures of the waterfront. I used to look too.
He covers the history of Erie County very well. He's also done a couple other. Arcadia Press put these books out.
Yeah, they're nice when you look at them because they bring back, some of them I'd never seen and some bring back memories.
Yeah.
But I was going to take DJ for a walk one day, and if you go down some of these vacant lots, I saw palm trees on the wall once. I go, what the heck is that? And an old timer told me that was the inside of the movie theater that they had tore down, you know.
That's just like taking DJs for a walk around Pit Hole.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
What's Pit Hole?
Hey, I'll get off your phone so somebody else can call.
Okay.
Thanks, Doc.
If you come back to Erie,
I'll be back. You know I'm going to be back for
we'll
business.
take a ride down to Pit Hole. It's a ghost town.
Pit Hole? I'm writing that
There's
down.
nothing there.
It's just, is it P-I-T-T hole?
What I would have to do is give you the book. You have to read about it.
Is that actually a name of a town?
Yeah.
Pit Hole.
Named after the creek, Pit Hole Creek. What they did, it was a ghost town. It was a boom town. It boomed up to 20,000 people,
Wow.
literally, and in 2 years it was down. It was gone, and all traces of it. Now, when you go there now, you get like depressions.
Yeah.
The roads are marked, but at least you have an idea where the roads were.
You know what I like to watch online or when people go checking places like that out? Urban exploring, stuff like that. I like to see that. I know
They won't let you dig on there. See, a problem is
Yeah.
every once in a while they dig up old bottles, oyster shells, bones,
Yeah.
shards of coins and leather.
Yeah.
But they don't want you down there, doing that.
Oh, I can understand.
But every once in a while I think they let the archaeology classes do it.
Oh, wow. That is interesting.
It's overgrown. It's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you look at it and you go, why? And then you find out why it didn't make it.
Yeah.
And there are good reasons,
Why did it boom and then die?
Well, they found oil. Oil was big up here. That's
Yeah.
one thing we never did in this state was build up the oil region,
Right.
the historical relevance of it. I mean, you got the Drake Well, you got
I was going to say Drake Well in Titusville.
but there's so much more around there. Like
Yeah.
the towns were wild. They were they were like Dodge City.
Oh, man.
They had a mixture of culture and the bad side.
Oh, everything has a bad
But
side.
there's a good book. I'll get
Yeah.
it for you.
That's
And
cool.
I'll get you a
Check it
copy of it, and you read it,
Check
and
it out.
it'll be like an eye opener.
I've had a lot of eye openers in my 20 years here in Erie, and I'm telling you, I'm going to miss you, Erie. I really am. I learn something new every day.
I just think when he brought about the carriage ride, that's not a bad idea.
That is,
know-
putting that in conjunction with a light show, that would just,
I get disappointed that Erie's more of I'm not against it,
yeah.
but it's more of a drinking town than it is a nice town to, a place where if you want to go down there, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But everybody has something, and you can take you could take a carriage ride hypothetically.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we could make it like, we're not New Orleans, okay?
Yeah.
And we're not Philadelphia. But
thank God.
But maybe on the weekend. Maybe the weekend it works,
Yeah.
I know they have, every once in a while, they have these ghost tours and all that.
Oh, I want to. They have the ghost tours under the train station sometimes.
That's
To this day, I've
been
yet
there.
to do that. I've
Interesting
yet to do
place.
that. Are they coming? I'm going to check. I'm going to look that up. This is
all
my
through-
last year. I need to
I've been
go.
all through that place. It is.
I'm kind of scared to go there because I don't.
I was there with a guy that was the carekeeper,
Yeah.
and I saw things that it was definitely. It's before they fixed it, though.
Yeah.
Now it's all it's been
It's been
renovated.
fixed up, but
In the old days, it was really.
did we have a subway? Was there going to be a subway? Is that why there was tunnels and?
No, I think they're utility tunnels.
Just
right?
utility tunnels.
Yeah, we never were.
Yeah.
I couldn't ever. I mean, no town our size ever had a.
Okay. I just wondered because you hear the rumors,
I think
you hear the
Buffalo
myths.
only has a partial. What is it? Elevated railroad? I don't think they
Do
have
they?
a
I didn't
subway.
even know that.
I don't even know if they have a subway.
I don't think Rochester does. I never
Cleveland
heard of
doesn't really have a subway either. They
it.
have,
No.
They have a couple of places where it's underground, but
Yeah. I know New York City does because I've been there.
I say I've been in New York, Chicago.
I've yet to be to Chicago. I've driven past the Windy
They
City.
got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And then they have one in L.A. Limited.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hey, you hear Elon Musk is going to be doing like this Hyperloop thing?
Yeah.
It's like the high-speed train. I think they're actually going to be building and testing a track.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah. You got a couple of different concepts he's got. He's got the Hyperloop concept, which is get on the train does it. And then there's also the concept where you pull up onto the carriage. It's like a ferry, and you park, and it locks into your car, and then it just does it takes you on, like on a trail, on a track. That's the kind of stuff I think.
That's going to be costly.
It's going to be costly, but it's going to be worth it once it gets in.
This way, don't classify him like the guy who's going to put the monorail down the middle of the highways. Go ahead, caller.
You're talking about underground. We told DJ about some of the underground railroad connections that were in here. A lot of the homes, particularly that went out there by GE, right there at Lawrence Park, is then.
That's been an interesting study. They tried to debunk the Perry Memorial House.
Uh-huh.
But they said there are others that existed.
Oh, yeah.
But
Wasn't there some underneath Perry Square that they found when they were digging for the septic system stuff?
those are, I think, believed to be utility tunnels, though.
Okay, because I thought they went under the park.
Yeah, they found them, and they claim that some of them have been sealed up, that they were merely utility tunnels that were built way back.
Yeah.
They were before my time, though.
Yeah, me too. And there's old rumors that started that the old time politicians used to use it as a way to sneak across the park to grab a drink, but that rumor was it was debunked, and they said it was basically they were all utility tunnels.
Yeah.
Hey,
But there was a set of businesses on the north side of Perry Square where they had underground businesses like you do at the Y where you have that barber shop.
yeah.
And there was a whole series of. I was privileged to go down in the basement once and walk the tunnel, which is kind of rough because it's partially collapsed. But you could see storefronts that existed down there on a lower level.
They took you to all these places and never got you lost, huh?
No, well, do you remember when you and I used to have
They
to
tried.
turn the lights off at the old Sears department store?
Yeah.
Remember how spooky that was in there?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Oh, you go in there at night and you heard all kinds of noises, remember?
Sure.
Yeah, we had it before they built the baseball park. Richard and I had to turn the lights off some nights.
Yeah.
Let's go down there, and then, of course,
Oh, man, that was...
it was just partly flooded with the rainwater. And then, of course, when the circus came to town, that's where they kept the elephants, and that was a job to clean that stuff out.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
no.
But remember, you'd look up on the wall and you'd see, like, men's department, ladies' department. It was like goats out of the past. Everything was removed.
Yeah.
But where the stuff was on the wall, like lettering,
Yeah.
you would see shadows and.
I'm gonna get off, but before I do, I forgot to tell you. Both of you have a very merry and blessed Christmas.
You
and
too.
if I don't see you before New Year, have a happy New Year.
Yep, I love that. Merry Christmas.
You too, Doc. Merry Christmas.
There we go.
I know it's not politically correct, but it's just words, people. Everybody got to stop being cupcakes.
I'm bringing it back.
I'm bringing Christmas back. Well, we got about 3 minutes left, so if anybody calls, we can take one more.
It's not about Madison Avenue.
It's not about Madison Avenue.
Right.
It's about Christ, if you're religious.
Well, it's about everything. It's about just being a nice person.
Just be nice.
It's
Just don't be a
nice
jerk.
season.
Don't be a doofus. That's what it's about.
It's a good season.
Don't road rage. Don't send people poop in the mail. Just whatever. Be a nice person.
If everybody could act like they do that 1 hour at Christmas around midnight.
Hey, it's Christmas. Okay, I'm nice. And then after, you're just a jerk again.
Would you ever notice that? Everybody changes at Christmas.
Everybody changes, during, through the holidays.
I call it, it's a nice
General.
feeling you get when you leave church. And
Yeah.
and then you go out in the parking lot and
Fist fights.
it's all downhill.
Fisticuffs.
That was my place.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Human nature is really tricky sometimes. It really is. We are all beasts on the inside, and we all want to fight and see blood, but I don't know. People don't have to be such jerks. People don't have to be asses. I can say ass because that's not, it's not that bad.
It's not banned anymore.
Yeah, it's not one of the 7 words that George Carlin said you can't say.
Well, yeah, he expanded that when I was younger.
Yeah, I didn't see the expansion, but I heard, I know the bit. But, yeah, I got nothing. I guess we'll...
We have to thank our engineer, Mike.
Mike!
You want to come out in front of the camera? And
You got 1 minute. You can come and be like, hey.
He won't do it.
All right.
This show cannot exist without Mike.
He might not exist. He might actually be like an android or something.
Mr. What do you call that?
Mr. Roboto.
No, what'd you call that one on the new stars? Data.
Data? He's our data.
He's Mr. Data.
He's our data. He's not lore, though. Because if you're into Star Trek, that's the evil Data. I used to like Star Trek. Okay.
Well,
we're down to 35 seconds. We're gonna explode if we don't stop.
We can see you next week.
That the 18th? We'll be here. What did we talk about last time? The garbage pickup for Christmas is going to be delayed.
Probably. I'll have to get this.
We're going to check that again. I'm pretty sure it was going to be delayed by a day.
We'll take you for a ride before you leave, though.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff you got to show me. 10 seconds. All right, kids.
What can we do in 10 seconds?
Wait, give me 10 seconds to think about it. No, we're out of time. Have fun. Thanks for watching and calling. Whoa.
Who's that?
That's my alarm. I set a countdown timer.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.